God, who am I? Praying to the sky. I'm anxious and I'm desperate. I be wishing that I cry. Tired of situations, I be wishing that I die. Talk while you keep complaining, you'll forever be my child.
This is 100% in the box. I'm not using any analog gear, just an analog mindset. Mixing analog is not just about reminiscing the old days. Like, it's not just about having gear, wanting to do things the way our forefathers did it. It's about character, tone. It's about warmth and grit that can be really hard to achieve when you're in the box. Digital is all about precision. It's easy to recall. It can be the exact same every time you load it up. With analog, you don't get that luxury. Things are way more unpredictable. Every time I fire up my LA2A, for example, it could sound different, but that trade-off brings you a warmth and a depth that is not very easily achieved in the digital world until today. My goal when mixing is to blend the best of both worlds, using the precision and the control and predictability of the digital world, but still imparting some of that analog attitude. To demonstrate this, I'm gonna be using a brand new YoungBoy NBA style template that I built just for this philosophy. It bridges the technological advantages of working in the digital realm with some of the thought processes and procedures that we know work with analog. Let's take a look at this session and break down what I'm doing track by track. So we'll start off with the lead vocal. Yes, there's a record track in this template that has a lot of the same effects, but they're just stripped down for low latency processing. And in this template, when you download it, I'll have details and comments on every single track just so you know exactly what's happening on that track and how to use it, okay? So you just go to the comment section if you're not sure about what's happening once you download this template yourself. On the lead track, I'm going to start off with a de-esser. For me, this is the point to where I want to clean up any harshness right away. So think about my analog workflow. A lot of times when recording in, the engineer or the recordist would start off with obviously the microphone, the preamp, probably a compressor, then hit a de-esser before going into the tape. So in my case, I already do my microphone and preamp all in the analog world. I might even be doing some compression in the analog world too. In this case, I didn't do it because I know a lot of y'all might not have external compressors to work with, and I wanted this template to really be able to handle a variety of different workflows. So first thing on the track is de-esser. Any harshness is going to be cleaned up. Let's just start and listen. I'm going to actually bypass all of the effects. All right. And before I do that, though, I do want to point out that this NLS channel, non-linear summing, I think that's the name of it, non-linear summing, this channel is on every plugin, the NLS channel, and then on the actual mix bus, I have the NLS bus. Right off the bat, this is going to give me a lot of that analog flavor. If you paid attention from the example in the beginning of the video, only thing I did primarily to go from my all digital sound to that more analog sound, a big part of that was what's happening on the NLS channel and the NLS bus that is on my mix bus here. And we're going to get through all of that. So I'm coming in with my de-esser. Let's just hear this vocal.
Praying to the sky. I'm anxious and I'm
We'll strip it all the way down. Let's just keep our auto tune on.
I be wishing that I die. Talk while you keep complaining, you'll forever be my child. Living while father. This is not how I was raised up. Ops want to frame us. So I used a mic that does not have very harsh S's, but this is just a procedural thing that, hey, if anything pops out and starts to peak, well, let's go ahead and tame those now. Praying to the sky. I'm anxious and I'm desperate. I be wishing that I cry. Tired of situations, I be wishing that I die.
So you see, it's not really doing much on this track. Next thing, I go to a surgical EQ. In this example, I'm using the FabFilter Pro Q4. You could use the FabFilter Pro Q3. You can use any stock EQ. And for the template, if you don't have this exact FabFilter Pro Q4, you can use, again, any other one that you choose. Now, even though I am doing some surgical EQ here and notching out some parts of my vocal that I feel don't work well with this music, and they're just maybe just annoying resonances in my vocal at period, I'm notching those out. Now, I'll leave these settings in the template, but your vocal and your recording situation is going to vary. You're going to be using a different mic. You have a different tone. I just did the best that I could to match that young boy style with my EQ and choices. So let's just hear each of these bands that I decided to take out or minimize in this mix. Right? So some nasally annoying stuff. Some more annoying stuff.
I was raised up.
A little bit of resonances there in my mid-range. And then some boofiness, right?
This will get you dead, I'm still alive. Look what this come to. They telling me I'm that guy. Is a facade. I'm still holding all the feelings of a child.
So I'm not doing anything super deep and tone shaping. I'm going to use analog style EQs for the tone shaping, and we'll get to that in a moment. But I really just wanted to clean up anything, and I did this part primarily like in solo, right? Normally when I'm mixing, I don't solo a lot, but while I'm actually cleaning up a vocal like this and just getting rid of annoying frequencies that are unpleasing, I like to do those in solo. And so now let's go on to the next part of this chain, which is going to be a C6 multi-band compression.
Praying to the sky, I'm anxious and I'm desperate, I be wishing that I cry. Tired of situations, I be wishing that I die. Top, why you keep complaining, you'll forever be my child. Living while father, this is not how I was raised up. Ops wanna frame us, they wanna hang us. I'm sorry for my thoughts and actions that ain't to your liking. Man, I'm scarred, this ain't no facade, I don't really like me. I don't know who I can run to, I don't know where I can run and hide. Your intentions will get you dead, I'm still alive.
Okay, so now this C6 is doing a lot of work, but it's actually helping to even out the tone. So I have a much more balanced vocal frequency-wise and also dynamic-wise. This next step is actually like our first look into doing some analog workflow. So everything up to this point, obviously I'm using auto-tune, I skipped over that, but everything up until this point has been a digital workflow. And now we're using this analog style compression with a warm characteristic. Now this is the Smack compressor. It is a free stock plugin in Pro Tools, and it happens to be one of my favorite compressors. It kind of emulates what a distressor compressor would do in a lot of ways, but man, this thing is literally gold. Let's listen to the transformation.
Praying to the sky, I'm anxious and I'm desperate, I be wishing that I cry. Tired of situations, I be wishing that I die. Top, why you keep complaining, you'll forever be my child. Living while father.
So that actually brought some attitude, some grit, it got us some punchiness, but the dynamics are still there as well.
Praying to the sky, I'm anxious and I'm desperate, I be wishing that I cry.
Let's hear how this sounds in the music so far.
Top, why you keep complaining, you'll forever be my child. Living while father. This is not how I was raised up.
All right, so we got a little more work to do. So now this is about the time where I'll be listening with the music in and making the rest of my decisions from there. So now I'm gonna go on to this analog style EQ. This is a Pultec style MEQ. This is actually the Waves version. And let's see what I'm doing here. I'm boosting up some of that 700. So now that everything is more compressed and the tone is more controlled, I'm using this to actually shape the tone of how that vocal is going to sit in with the music. I got all of my reduction done, stuff I didn't like, and then I control my dynamics. Now let's fit this vocal into the beat like a puzzle piece.
Praying to the sky, I'm anxious and I'm desperate, I be wishing that I cry. Tired of situations, I be wishing that I die. Top, why you keep complaining, you'll forever be my child. Living while father. This is not how I was raised up. Ops wanna frame
I kind of
us.
like that a little better.
They wanna hang us. I'm sorry for my thoughts and actions that ain't to your liking. Man, I'm scarred. This ain't no facade. I don't really like me. I don't know who I can run to. I don't know where I can run and hide.
All right, so now we got a vocal that has some analog flavor and roundness to it, and from there I'm gonna go back to more digital tools like the Fresh Air and Silk Vocal. The Fresh Air is just gonna add a nice lustrous top end on here. You can see I'm barely using anything. Let's actually hear what that sounds like.
Praying to the sky, I'm anxious and I'm desperate, I be wishing that I cry. Tired of situations,
so just a little bit of openness, just a little more air.
You'll forever be my child. Living while father, this is not how I was raised up. Ops wanna frame us, they wanna hang us. I'm sorry for my thoughts.
Right, that almost added like a reverb-like feeling, kind of gave that vocal a spare and a space, and I'm really just using it in the most minimal way you can. Like, and I can hear the difference. If you can't hear that difference, check your ears, man. And then from there, I like to use this wave silk vocal like near the end of a chain just to catch anything that I might have missed and do some final tone shaping in a digital way. Like, right, this is going to help me clean up any resonances and really just make sure that that final vocal is polished. His before, so I can automatically hear a little boominess.
Why you keep complaining? You'll forever be my child. Living while father. This is not how I was raised up. Ops wanna frame
maybe
us.
That's a little much, right?
Hang us. I'm sorry for my thoughts and actions that ain't to your like. Praying to the sky, I'm anxious and I'm desperate, I be wishing that I cry. Tired of situations, I be wishing that I die. Talk why you keep complaining, you'll forever be my child. Living while father.
This is without the silk.
I was raised up. Ops wanna frame
Bring
us.
It back in.
They wanna hang us. I'm sorry for my thoughts and actions that ain't to your liking. Man, I'm scarred. This ain't no facade. I don't really like me. I don't know who I can run to. I don't know where I can run and hide. Your intentions will get you dead. I'm still alive.
And the thing about mixing, man, is that sometimes you gotta go back. Like right now I'm feeling like I got a little bit too much mid-range, so I'm gonna dial back some of this EQ.
Praying to the sky, I'm anxious and
that feels more balanced.
I be wishing that I cry. Tired of situations, I be wishing that I die.
And then I have a slew of effects. So I have a main reverb, a secondary reverb that's smaller, like a plate style. I got a really big reverb as well, a third one, a chorus, another chorus type effects, a couple of delays, and this distortion that I'm adding. This is pretty cool. Let's hear what this distortion is actually doing before I bring in anything else.
Praying to the sky.
Right?
I'm anxious and I'm desperate, I be wishing that I cry.
So that's literally adding distortion, adding some crunch in, and I'm just turning it down pretty low just to add a little bit more grit. This is another analog style workflow. Sometimes working in analog, you're gonna get a little distortion, a little character, and if you're looking for something to really like bring your vocals up, especially in an aggressive rap performance like this, sometimes just adding a little distortion, and you see I kind of put it right up the middle channel just to bring those vocals really forward.
Praying to the sky, I'm anxious.
Add a little scratchiness.
I be wishing that I cry. Tired of situations, I be wishing that I die. Talk why you keep complaining, you'll forever be my child. Living while father, this is not how I was raised up. Ops wanna frame us, they wanna hang us. I'm sorry for my thoughts and actions that ain't
there. It is without it.
Man, I'm scarred. This ain't no facade. I don't really like me. I don't know who I can run to. I don't know where I can run and hide. Your intentions will get you dead. I'm still alive. Look what this come to. They telling me I'm that guy. It's a facade. I'm still holding all the feelings of a child.
Yeah.
Praying to the sky. I'm anxious and I'm desperate. I be wishing that I cry. Tired of situations. I be wishing that I die. Talk why you keep complaining. You'll forever be my child.
And the effects are very minimal.
This is not how I was raised up. Ops wanna frame us, they wanna hang us. I'm sorry for my thoughts and actions that ain't to your liking. Man, I'm scarred. This ain't no facade. I don't really like.
All right, now let's talk about that analog magic that's happening. So the NLS channel and the NLS bus, man, this is so dope. This is probably the dopest plugin that I found recently. Like when I start thinking about what really makes things analog and how we can harness that truly in a workflow inside of the digital world, I started researching and I discovered the Waves NLS. And I was like, yo, why have I not used this plugin before? It's not like it's brand new or anything, but I was super surprised that I had never used it, and it literally works wonders. Like, let's listen again without any NLS channels on, and I'll turn the NLS bus off. Let's just listen to where we're at.
Praying to the sky.
Oh, let's see. All of my reverbs turned off. Let's not do that.
Praying to the sky. I'm anxious and I'm desperate. I be wishing that I cry. Tired of situations, I be wishing that I die. Top, why you keep complaining, you forever.
That sounds so boring. Let's listen now.
Praying to the sky, I'm anxious and I'm desperate, I be wishing that I cry.
And that's just one part. Like, that's just literally one component that brought all of that beefiness, all that attitude to the mix. Now, look, you can actually go through here. So there's 3 different types of consoles. You got the Spike Stent, you got the mic, and you got the Nevo. So the Spike, this is going to be more like a SSL. I forget which kind mic is. And then Nevo is kind of going to be like that Neve console flavor. And the dope thing is you don't have to have them all. Like certain channels, I have different flavors of what console is happening based on what I thought would work for this mix. Like, let's listen here, and I'm going to change the different console styles. Listen to how it affects his vocal.
Praying to the sky, I'm anxious and I'm desperate.
It's the SSL.
Tired of situations, I be wishing that I die. Top, why you keep complaining, you'll forever be my child. Living wild father, this not how I was raised up. Ops wanna frame us, they wanna
I like the knee.
I'm sorry for my thoughts and actions that ain't to your liking.
But on the beat, I'm using the mic studio.
To the sky.
I feel like if I use the Neve here, it gets a little too clean.
Tired of situations, I be wishing that I die. Top, why you keep complaining, you'll forever be my child.
That might work.
Father, this not how I was raised up. Ops wanna frame us, they wanna hang us.
I don't like that at all.
For my thoughts and actions that ain't to your liking. Man, I'm scarred, this ain't no facade, I don't really like.
I feel like the mic is like the best in between the two. It's like, it's right in the middle.
Praying to the sky, I'm anxious and I'm desperate, I be wishing that I cry. Tired of situations, I be wishing that I die. Top, why you keep complaining, you'll forever be my child. Living wild father, this not how I was raised.
Yeah, that's way more full, more
frame
beefy.
They wanna hang us.
So not only can you have a different studio on every track, right, using a different console, but setting it up like this, right, it's important that I put that NLS channel on the last insert. And you can do this before you start any mixing, right? And literally mix into this as if you were on a console. I'm mixing into my analog console. If I had an SSL in front of me, I would route all the channels out of my DAW into individual channels on the console and then do whatever else mixing I wanted to do there. Decide to drive them into the console a little more by turning up the preamps on each channel or changing the output here. But one of the dope things is the VCA groups, which we'll get to right now once I actually jump over to the bus. So even though we can have different console settings for each individual track, that all then feeds into my mix bus, which I could choose a different console here. You see, I still have all 3. And for this mix bus, I did end up going with the SSL, the Spike style studio, because I felt like it worked better. Let's listen to a few different other flavors of studios here.
Praying to the sky, I'm anxious and I'm desperate, I be wishing that I cry. Tired of situations,
beefiness kind of falls flat.
Top, why you keep complaining, you'll forever be my child. Living wild father, this not how I was raised up. Ops wanna frame us, they wanna hang us.
This has the grit that I'm looking for.
That ain't to your liking. Man, I'm scarred. This ain't
you can also drive the whole mix. This decides like how much of that analog character and saturation you're gonna be imparting on the mix. And of course, you have that same control on individual channels.
Praying to the sky, I'm anxious and I'm desperate,
all the
be
way up.
That I cry. Tired of situations, I be wishing that I die. Top, why you keep complaining, you'll forever be my child. Living wild father, this not how I was raised up. Ops wanna frame us, they wanna hang us. I'm sorry for my thoughts and actions that ain't to your liking. Man, I'm scarred, this ain't no facade, I don't really like me. I don't know who I can run to, I don't know where I can run and hide. Your intentions will get you dead, I'm still alive. Look what this come to. They telling me I'm that guy. It's off facade. I'm still holding all the
right. And then we even have a trim control here. That's just for an extra gain. Another dope thing is these VCA groups where I can change the amount of console processing on each individual channels. And I've set this up to have a all music group. Well, that's done by default. Well, everything group. And then I have my music. And then I have my lead vocals, my background vocals, and my effects. Now, you can then also go to, let's say I got my music. I can say, you know what? I want, if I had a multi-track, every one of them could be either individual studios, or I could say, you know what, change all the music to Spike Studio, or all the music to Mike Studio, or all of them to the Neve Studio, right? And then you can do that on everything. So right now my vocals are individual because I have some of the vocals using the Spike Studio and some of them using the Nevo Studio. So if I wanted to just change them all, I could just come here and change which studio. I can change how much drive this entire group is getting into the console.
Praying to the sky, I'm anxious and I'm desperate. I be wishing
that's
that
my music.
Tired of situations, I be wishing that I die. Talk while you keep complaining, you'll forever be my child. Living walk father, this not how I was raised up. Ops wanna frame us, they wanna hang us. I'm sorry for my thoughts and actions that ain't to your liking. Man, I'm scarred, this ain't no facade. I don't really like me, I don't know who I can run to.
Yeah.
I don't know where I can run.
Right? It's something about that analog drive that really gets the mix to start moving, and I appreciate that. Before I actually go into the NLS bus, I am hitting this tape emulation. This is the Waves Abbey Road J37. This tape is really dope and it's very easy to work with. The default settings sound pretty good, and so I kind of kept it right there. I don't think I changed much here. Kept the formula on the cleanest setting, right? It can get a little gritty.
I'm anxious and I'm desperate. I be wishing that I cry. Tired of situations, I be wishing.
Right, so that's not as much character and saturation with the 815 formula, and then I got the 1.5 IPS, that stands for inches per second, in case you didn't know. So that's the tape speed there, and the bias. Let's see.
Praying to the sky, I'm anxious and I'm desperate. I be wishing that I cry. Tired of situations, I
like the normal bias.
Why you keep complaining, you forever
the nominal.
Living walk father, this not how I was raised up.
Right. And then from there, I'm doing some more analog style processing and doing some tone shaping over my entire mix using this UAD Pultec Pro Legacy. They do have this in the Waves version, but I like this. So if you don't have this UAD version, you can swap this out for anything. And again, this is going to be completely dependent on the music and the content of your mix, how you set this. Let's take a listen to the mix before and after I use this analog style EQ.
Praying to the sky, I'm anxious and I'm desperate. I be wishing that I cry. Tired of situations, I be wishing that I die. Talk while you keep complaining, you'll forever be my child. Living walk father, this not how I was raised up.
So
Ops wanna frame us, they wanna hang us. I'm sorry for my.
You can see that this EQ is doing a lot of heavy lifting here, and it's really just helping to kind of scope the character of the mix, right? If I wanted to do more precision EQing, I would grab a digital EQ, but using these analog style EQs, man, I think that the people who created these, they understood music and they understood the different frequency ranges that we would want to affect when working on music. And so these just make tone shaping and character shaping a whole lot easier. And lastly, of course, we gotta bring everything up to a modern standard. So I'm using the brand new L4 Ultramaximizer as my limiter with, I think, am I doing a bit of upward compression? Yeah, half dB upward compression, about 3 dBs of attenuation here on my threshold. Well, I got the threshold set to like -3, -4. The thing is that even without this limiter, my mix is pretty loud already. By adding saturation in stages, right? And that's what all of this analog stuff is saturation. By adding the NLS channel, things get a little louder. By using tape machine, things get a little louder, a little more saturated. By using the NLS bus, things get a little louder, a little more saturated. I'm adding some frequencies with my Pultec EQ, things getting a little more louder, a little more saturated, and then from there the limiter has a little bit of work to do.
Praying to the sky, I'm anxious.
Let's
and
bypass.
I be wishing that I cry. Tired of situations, I be wishing that I die. Talk while you keep complaining, you'll forever be my child. Living walk father.
So I'm not totally squashing everything with my limiter.
They wanna hang us. I'm sorry for my thoughts and actions that ain't to your liking. Man, I'm scarred. This ain't no facade. I don't really like me. I don't know who I can run to.
This method is going to give me a whole lot more control over my mix, especially as I try to reach for a certain loudness toward the end. I don't have to work that hard, don't have to get limiters punch in and all that stuff to get the mix loud. Another important thing to really consider when you are working in this analog workflow is gain staging. One fail-safe that I've created for us is this master fader. Now, I like to use master faders a little bit differently, well, totally different from most people. I don't use them to control the output. I use them to control the bus going into my mix bus. So if you see, I have a master fader here in this template, and instead of it being assigned to the final output, it's assigned to the mix bus. That mix bus pathway is where everything else is going. So if I decide that the mix is overall too loud or too quiet, I can use this fader to determine how loud things are going into my mix bus processing, so that I'm hitting my tape at the right level, so that I'm hitting my NLS bus at the right level. And you want to have this same gain staging mindset throughout the mix, to where you probably will want to go into your tracks individually. As you see, I did here, this beat came in way too loud, so I attenuated it by almost 6 dB before going into any processing. The sweet spot for most analog gear is going to be 0 VU calibrated to -18. So on this template, of course, I made it easy for y'all. And when the signal is hitting 0 VU,
I'm anxious and I'm desperate. I'll be wishing that I cry. Tired of situations, I be wishing that I die. Top, why you keep complaining, you'll forever be my child.
That'll be the appropriate level to start going into your mix bus processing.
Praying to the sky, I'm anxious and I'm desperate. I'll be wishing that I cry. Tired of situations, I be wishing that I die. Top, why you keep complaining, you'll forever be my child. Living while father, this not how I was raised up. Ops wanna frame us, they wanna hang us. I'm sorry for my thoughts and actions that ain't to your liking. Man, I'm scarred, this ain't no facade. I don't really like me, I don't know who I can run to. I don't know where I can run and hide. Your intentions will get you dead, I'm still alive. Look what this come to, they telling me I'm that guy. It's a facade, I'm still holding all the feelings of a child. Praying to the sky, I'm anxious and I'm desperate. I'll be wishing that I cry. Tired of situations, I be wishing that I die. Top, why you keep complaining, you'll forever be my child. Living while father, this not how I was raised up. Ops wanna frame us, they wanna hang us. I'm sorry for my thoughts and actions that ain't to your liking. Man, I'm scarred, this ain't no facade. I don't really like me.
And actually, after playing with that mix and messing up all my levels, using that fader to quickly get back to the gain stage that I need to be at appropriately for my mix bus processing helped that mix to come out a whole lot cleaner. So what really makes things analog? Number one, it's got to be gain staging. Make sure that things are hitting your gear at the right levels. Just like if we were working on analog, we don't want to have stuff coming in too loud or too quiet. We want to hit that gear right at the sweet spot. If you're not sure, always check the manual of the plugin that you're using. Number two is going to be the harmonic layering. Not just doing a bunch of processing at the end, but using several different styles and types of analog harmonics and analog character along the mix. So using things like saturators on your vocal, or the NLS channel on every single channel in your session, and then building up that saturation, building up those harmonics, so that by the time you get to the mix bus, the mix is already feeling a whole lot glued together. Crosstalk and summing. The NLS bus creates glue. It has the crosstalk. Crosstalk is just fancy speak for how analog channels on a console allow some audio to bleed from one channel to the other. It's just by design. It's because you can't contain the energy, baby. But in the digital world, that crosstalk between tracks doesn't happen. And so some of that natural glue that we would get in the analog world is lost. This is why we need to use stuff like the NLS channel when we mix it. Tone shaping. Think about how I use the Pultec EQs, how I'm not using them to get surgical. I go to digital style EQs, fully parametric EQs for digital surgical EQing, when I just want to shape a tone, get some more body, get some more character, right? That's when I'll go to like a Pultec style EQ. And lastly, it's going to be the mindset. Think analog workflows. A lot of the stuff that we working on is already set up for analog style workflows anyway, whether you know it or not. And if you never worked on analog, it can be kind of hard to understand why certain things are the way they are, right? So in this case, again, the analog workflow is going to be like we're using the NLS channel as our summon mixer. We're sending channels out of the DAW, right? Out of the DAW into a console, each individual channel. And then that console also has a master section that has additional processing. It has additional electrical components that are also going to add some flavor. So every individual channel summed together plus the mix bus summing, man, that really helps to get us some analog flavor. And keeping that mindset as we are mixing on building up piece by piece, not wait until we get to the end, is really going to help you to achieve the results that you're looking for. Do you have another process for getting analog style workflow while you're in the DAW? I would love to hear the process that you're using in your mixes in the comments below. I'm Wavy Wayne from WavyProAudio.com. You can get this template and the plugins that we mentioned in this video from WavyProAudio.com. I am your plug for the studio stuff, man, by the way, not just these helpful videos. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and most of all, be dope.